Rule 11, do not bother children when they are skateboarding. Of course it was dangerous. Danger was the point. They wanted to triumph over danger. They would have been safer in protective equipment, but that would have ruined it. They weren't trying to be safe. They were trying to become competent, and it's competence that makes people as safe as they can truly be. When untrammeled and encouraged, we prefer to live on the edge. There, we can still be both confident in our experience and confronting the chaos that helps us develop. We're hardwired, for that reason, to enjoy risk, some of us more than others. We feel invigorated and excited when we work to optimize our future performance, while playing in the present. Otherwise we lumber around, sloth-like, unconscious, unformed and careless. Overprotected, we will fail when something dangerous, unexpected, and full of opportunity suddenly makes its appearance, as it inevitably will. I believe it was Jung who developed the most surgically wicked of psychoanalytic dicta: if you cannot understand why someone did something, look at the consequences and infer the motivation. Girls can win by winning in their own hierarchy by being good at what girls value, as girls. They can add to this victory by winning in the boys' hierarchy. Boys, however, can only win by winning in the male hierarchy. They will lose status among girls and boys by being good at what girls value. It costs them in reputation among the boys, and in attractiveness among the girls. From 1997 to 2012, according to the Pew Research Center 180, the number of women aged 18 to 34 who said that a successful marriage is one of the most important things in life rose from 28 to 37%, an increase of more than 30%. The number of young men who said the same thing declined 15% over the same period, from 35 to 29%. Consider this, as well, in regard to oppression: any hierarchy creates winners and losers. The winners are, of course, more likely to justify the hierarchy and the losers to criticize it. But, 1. The collective pursuit of any valued goal produces a hierarchy, as some will be better and some worse at that pursuit, not matter what it is, and, 2. It is the pursuit of goals that in large part lends life its sustaining meaning. Power is a fundamental motivational force, not the. People compete to rise to the top, and they care where they are in dominance hierarchies. But, and this is where you separate the metaphorical boys from the men, philosophically, the fact that power plays a role in human motivation does not mean that it plays the only role, or even the primary role. Likewise, the fact that we can never know everything does make all our observations and utterances dependent on taking some things into account and leaving other things out, as we discussed extensively in Rule 10. That does not justify the claim that everything is interpretation, or that categorization is just exclusion. Beware of single-cause interpretations and beware the people who purvey them. If radical right-wingers were receiving state funding for political operations disguised as university courses, as the radical left-wingers clearly are, the uproar from progressives across North America would be deafening. In societies that are well-functioning, not in comparison to a hypothetical utopia, but contrasted with other existing or historical cultures, competence, not power, is a prime determiner of status. Competence, ability, skill, not power. This is obvious both anecdotally and factually. No one with brain cancer is equity-minded enough to refuse the service of the surgeon with the best education, the best reputation and, perhaps, the highest earnings. Furthermore, the most valid personality trait predictors of long-term success in Western countries are intelligence, as measured with cognitive ability or IQ tests, and conscientiousness, a trait characterized by industriousness and orderliness. Gender is constructed, but an individual who desires gender reassignment surgery is to be unarguably considered a man trapped in a woman's body, or vice versa. The fact that both of these cannot logically be true, simultaneously, is just ignored, or rationalized away with another appalling postmodern claim, that logic itself along with the techniques of science is merely part of the oppressive patriarchal system. Here's the fundamental problem: group identity can be fractionated right down to the level of the individual. That sentence should be written in capital letters. Every person is unique and not just in a trivial manner, importantly, significantly, meaningfully unique. Group membership cannot capture that variability. Period. It's a good idea to tell the person you are confronting exactly what you would like them to do instead of what they have done or currently are doing. You might think, if they loved me, they would know what to do. That's the voice of resentment. Assume ignorance before malevolence. No one has a direct pipeline to your wants and needs, not even you. For a woman to become complete, such stories claim, she must form a relationship with masculine consciousness and stand up to the terrible world, which sometimes manifests itself, primarily, in the form of her too present mother. An actual man can help her do that, to some degree, but it is better for everyone concerned when no one is too dependent. Men enforce a code of behavior on each other, when working together. Do your work. Pull your weight. Stay awake and pay attention. Don't whine or be touchy. Stand up for your friends. Don't suck up and don't snitch. Don't be a slave to stupid rules. Don't, in the immortal words of Arnold Schwarzenegger, be a girly man. Don't be dependent. At all. Ever. Period. The harassment that is part of acceptance on a working crew is a test. Are you tough, entertaining, competent, and reliable? If not, go away. Simple as that. We don't need to feel sorry for you. We don't want to put up with your narcissism, and we don't want to do your work. That ad is famous for a reason. It summarizes human sexual psychology in 7 straightforward panels. The too-weak young man is embarrassed and self-conscious, as he should be. What good is he? He gets put down by other men and, worse, by desirable women. Instead of drowning in resentment, and skulking off to his basement to play video games in his underwear, covered with Cheetos dust, he presents himself with what Alfred Adler, Freud's most practical colleague, called a compensatory fantasy. The goal of such a fantasy is not so much wish fulfillment, as illumination of a genuine path forward. Mac takes serious note of his scarecrow-like build and decides that he should develop a stronger body. More importantly, he puts his plan into action. He identifies with the part of himself that could transcend his current state, and becomes the hero of his own adventure. He goes back to the beach, and punches the bully in the nose. Mac wins. So does his eventual girlfriend. So does everybody else. If they're healthy, women don't want boys. They want men. They want someone to contend with, someone to grapple with. If they're tough, they want someone tougher. If they're smart, they want someone smarter. They desire someone who brings to the table something they can't already provide. This often makes it hard for tough, smart, attractive women to find mates. There just aren't that many men around who can outclass them enough to be considered desirable, who are higher, as one research publication put it, in income, education, self-confidence, intelligence, dominance and social position. Become men is, therefore, no more friend to woman than it is to man. It will object, just as vociferously and self-righteously, you can't do it, it's too dangerous, when little girls try to stand on their own 2 feet. It negates consciousness. It's anti-human, desirous of failure, jealous, resentful and destructive. No one truly on the side of humanity would ally him or herself with such a thing. No one aiming at moving up would allow him or herself to become possessed by such a thing. And if you think tough men are dangerous, wait until you see what weak men are capable of. Leave children alone when they are skateboarding.